Welcome to the Fail Forward podcast. The purpose of this podcast is change the negative stigma around failure into a positive. Failure is only a negative if we do not learn from it and we give up. Welcome back to the Fail Forward podcast. Does sometimes it feel like you're working out, you're working in your business, you're constantly working, but you're not seeing the results? Because that's certainly something that I do regularly. I've been on a fitness mission now for, probably for about 15 years, but realistically, I've been consistently working on my fitness now for the last 18 months. And it's only now, 18 months later, that I'm starting to see the results of consistently turning up day after day and just slowly improving. And sometimes it feels like that with business. You're in a business and it just feels like you're in the day-to-day rat race, the hamster wheel, and you're doing everything, but you're not seeing the results. And I believe both of those reasons why sometimes it feels such a long time is because you can't see the marginal gains that are happening. You can't see the compounding that's happening. And what I see is certainly in my own journey with my fitness is that, you go, right, okay, this time I'm definitely going to lose weight. I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat really healthy. And then week 1, you stand on the scales and you've lost a little bit. And then week 2, you stand on the scales, you might have lost a little bit more. But then by month 1, month 2, you're not really seeing the progress you want. And, I know in the fitness industry, they have to say get lean and ripped in 3 months, but, otherwise people wouldn't buy their packages. But realistically, 3 months isn't long enough to get lean and ripped and get your holiday bod and all that, unless you've already had some sort of framework of fitness in the past. And I think that's where we all fall down quite often and people give up because you're not seeing the results as quickly as you want. And what happens is you're constantly looking in the mirror and you're not seeing a difference. And every day you look in, but you're not seeing the tiny little marginal gains that are happening. And it's the same with business. You're working in your business and some days you just feel like you're putting fires out. And it's not until you look back or suddenly you look at your bank balance or suddenly everything starts coming together that you actually start seeing the compounding of all those positive steps that you're taking. And I've certainly seen that now. I'm 18 months in and actually I'm lighter than I've ever been in my whole life since I was about 18 years old, since I started driving, which I think was the catalyst to the start of me putting weight on, because I wasn't doing as much fitness and as much walking around and roaming the streets of Hythe. But the point of this podcast and episode is to really say that, if you feel like you're in that place, like keep on keeping on, because what you don't see quite often is the compounding of the day-to-day of turning up consistently, of doing the right things, like we've talked about in other episodes, concentrating on the higher income generating tasks, leveraging out other people's time and really working hard on your business. You will be having marginal gains that you can't see, and eventually that will compound into the big the momentum in your business, and you'll start seeing it flow. And it takes a long time, and this is where a lot of people fall by the wayside with fitness, with life, with goals, with discipline, because they give up too quickly. So I'm not going to be one of those business gurus or fitness people that says, you can make loads in a month, in 3 months, you can lose loads of weight. What I'm saying here is stay in the game. There is a lot to be said for staying in the game and being consistently persistent and keep on pushing on and turning up on the days that you don't feel like turning up, the days where it's cold outside or you're getting beaten left, right and centre by different things that happen in your businesses. They're the important times to push through, because a lot of people give up in those times and they just snooze the alarm, go back to bed, or they don't go to work that day and they watch Netflix all day. That's the times that you can really make way with your personal fitness goals or your personal business goals or whatever it is that you're wanting to succeed and achieve in life. You've got to be turning up on the days where you really don't feel like it, and setting that aside, having the right mindset to turning up. Sir David Brailsford, who is famous for helping Team Sky become one of the best cycling teams in the world. Previous to that, we were Team GB were awful in racing. And what David Brailsford did is he came in and he went, right, let's look at every single piece of the bike, the team, the food, everything, and let's try and improve every single thing by 1%. And you heard Sal talk about it in one of the previous episodes. Just turn up and try and improve by 1%. And that's essentially what you're trying to do day to day, day to day. The marginal gains, 1% in every area of life is going to compound into something really amazing. And you can just see what happened to Team Sky from, I think it was 2018, 2019, and he started adding in this theory of marginal gains, and essentially it's very similar to fail forward. Let's try things. What work, what doesn't work, what are the teams sleeping on, what are they eating in the morning, what are they taking before they go for a ride. Let's strip the bike down and see what's working, what's not, and trial and error, test and see what works. And essentially what I see marginal gains and Sir David Brailsford's theory is, it's very similar to fail forward, in the sense you just test and measuring and going, is this working, is this not? And then over time, that compounds into something amazing, which is their success in Team Sky to be able to go and win medals and become one of the most prolific racing teams in the world. And that is all from using the theory of marginal gains. And so really what I'm trying to say to you in this episode is some days you feel like you're in the rat race. Some days you feel like you're not losing weight or having the body shape or the summer bod or the business that you want. But I can guarantee you keep in the game, you keep the mindset, you keep on being consistently persistent, you keep on trying to improve everything, every part of the business by 1%, you will soon see that turn into the big momentum that you want, and everything will start coming your way. It's something I'm experiencing at the moment with this podcast. We've gone from maybe 100 downloads a week to now 5, 6, 7, 800, and we've even topped 1,000 downloads in a day, which is absolutely amazing. But for a year and a half, we've been getting really small numbers each week in, week out. But suddenly the compound effect of me sharing all my stuff everywhere, and I've had friends tell me that they're fed up of seeing me on social media and all this kind of stuff. But do you know what? It really doesn't matter to me, because it's not for them, it's for everyone else. And the more that I can share the fail forward way of life, the more I hope it grows, and the more we keep compounding with the positive steps forward and sharing all the journeys of other people, then it's only going to compound into something even bigger. And imagine where it would be in a year. But if I'd have given up, it's after 6 months, because my ego was telling me that, you're not good enough, your content's rubbish, and that's why people aren't listening to you. But there's so many other factors that we don't see of the reason why things don't take off straight away. So don't give up. Stay in the game and keep trying to improve with those marginal gains, and just keep on keeping on. And I can assure you, success and whatever you're aiming for will come. Just don't ever give up, fail forward, and learn from everything, and put your ego to one side. That's it from me. Thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe.